What's going on, Game Weepers? This is Coach X. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the 10 most OP builds and champions that go along with those builds, so to know which champions to play for the rest of 13-13 and for the upcoming 13-14, some of these picks are oriented around those changes that we kind of know about. Make sure you stick around obviously for the whole video. But guys, you can pick one of these champions and you can have these rune pages and you can have the summoner spell set up properly, and of course like your items, you can have item sets and all that, but it doesn't actually like change you as a player, right? Like if you're an AD carry and you go from playing a champion like Kog'Maw to one of the champions we mentioned in this video, it doesn't just mean you're going to instantly climb. You have to be a good AD carry. You have to be a good jungler to make use of these picks. You have to be a good mid laner to make use of the mid lane champions we discussed. So to know how to actually play your role and the type of champions you're going to play, signing up to the website is the best move you can ever make. We have so many challenger players and coaches uploading daily videos that will help you improve massively. These might be champion courses or guides, even high elo VOD analyses, even coaching sessions. So make sure you check out the links down below and sign up to the website for exclusive access to our library of content. Now we're going to get into the builds here, guys, and we're going to start in the top lane. Now there's a couple of builds here I want to talk about. The first one is very easy and obvious because it is just really OP, right? This being Divine Sunderer, Jax. Now Master and above, and every single elo actually, don't even worry about Master and above, Jax is an S+ tier top laner. But there are some interesting builds out there, so if you are going, you know, the standard Divine Sunderer into something like even Black Cleaver's really good because of the buffs to Black Cleaver, especially the attack damage, right? This makes the item really nice for Jax and the ability haste. It actually has really underrated synergy, but there's also a build out there where you can get Trinity Force as your mythic item. I would highly recommend doing that if the enemy team is pretty squishy and you don't need the actual like HP damage from Divine Sunderer. So that's very important to consider. So Trinity Force if you're snowballing, and yeah, probably against a team that's very, very squishy. And I'm sure I don't have to get into like too much more detail here about Jax. Grasp the Undying as well seems to be the best rune setup, so of course you can go lethal tempo, but Grasp Jax just makes him such a bully in lane. Like his trading potential is unreal with his keystone. So yeah, Jax is the first champion and first top laner in this video. Now the second top laner and last top laner in this video, this is a champion who's getting buffed in 13-14 as we know of thus far, this being Aatrox. Now lots of people might be going Gore Drinker, there's even some stuff out there with like Frostfire Gauntlet, but I really don't think that's legit. But yeah, if you're going Aatrox in 13-14, Eclipse with Black Cleaver I think is going to be the best build because you're getting more attack damage in your Q. This means that the more attack damage you have, so from an item like Eclipse and then the lethality and also the armor penetration from the passive I think is really good. It gives you a bit of extra damage and almost scaling in a way against those top laners and enemy champions obviously who are going to be building armor. And with the Aatrox buffs, I think this is going to be really fat, especially if you can land your sweet spots on your Qs. It's going to be insane for you Aatrox mains. And again guys, if you really do want to know how to play Aatrox at the highest level, check out our website once again down below. Now moving into the jungle here, we have 3 champions to discuss. Now the first of these is the only AD assassin here. I mean honestly you could probably label all of these as AD assassins, but I'm talking like pure assassin, this being Rengar. Now why is Rengar so good even though they nerfed, you know, Ghostblade not so long ago? Well that's because Duskblade. Duskblade because of the buffs recently, man, it's made Rengar and other assassins as well. So in the mid lane, even though I'm not talking about them in this video, but I could mention Talon, Kiana, there are a bunch of them, right? Even Kha'Zix in the jungle, Blue Kayn is really good with Duskblade, but Rengar just because he's more broken than all of those champions, that's why he's included in this video. Whether you're going First Strike, whether you're going Fleet or something, First Strike honestly though, paired with Duskblade, you will one-shot literally everyone, but probably ban Rek'Sai if you're a Rengar player because she can see you in fog and also stop your leap with her knockup. So really bad matchup and she's super OP as well. Now speaking of Rek'Sai, I can't go this video guys without mentioning Rek'Sai with Stridebreaker. The synergy here is just unreal. In Master and above, this champion has over a 54.5% win rate, and you don't even need to look at that. Just look at the ban rate for me. In close to 11,000 matches, and these matches like aren't even included here, she's banned 32 or over 32% of the time. That is ridiculous, man. Like I thought Nidalee was banned a lot, and I could have put her in this video, but Rek'Sai probably just because she's more consistent in other elos as well. Nidalee, you really have to, you know, like how to play the champion at the highest level to make her really work. But Rek'Sai is a lot easier. And with Stridebreaker, because it's giving you 60 attack damage now, you one-shot everyone, and because of the buffs in 13-11 and no nerfs in 13-14, that's why she's here. Now, the final jungle, guys, to talk about, this is Kindred. So if you don't want to play a melee jungler, if you want to play a ranged champion who's going to kite everyone to oblivion and pretty much like out-match up everyone. Like, I don't think Kindred has a bad matchup in the jungle. Maybe Rengar's a little bit difficult, right? Maybe something like a Rammus or Nidalee might even be hard. But for the most part, man, as long as you use your Q properly, so to actually dodge key abilities and to create space, you are going to be killing it with Trinity Force Kindred. The ban rate, if you thought Rek'Sai's was high, Kindred's in high elo is over 41%. And that's really because of Trinity Force as well. I don't know why Riot are not, like nerfing the item. They're changing the item. So if you guys don't actually know, the actual stacking from the passive is now going to be 3 stacks. So kind of what it was. And the actual damage is going up to 18%. So even though it max stacks at the moment with the 5 stacks, you get to like at least 20%. The 18%, yes, it might be lower damage in total, but you're getting it up to 3 stacks. So you're actually getting like more damage sooner, right? Because 3 stacks before would not be close to 18%. So I actually think this is like a buff to Trinity Force. I don't know why they've done this if it does go through, and Kindred's win rate will only get higher. So those were the junglers. Now heading into the mid lane, guys, we've only got one champion here to talk about who's OP because, well, just because of the build, right? This being LeBlanc. So I know that LeBlanc in lower elos might not be the most amazing champion in terms of statistics, but in higher elos, look at these for me. Close to a 30% ban rate, she's picked a fair bit, and has close to a 51% win rate. Now, why is LeBlanc so prolific and so good? Well, that's because Fleet Footwork with Night Harvester and Static Shiv. So you want to be rushing Static Shiv, then you're getting Sorcerer's Shoes, and then getting Night Harvester. This with Fleet Footwork and also Alacrity and Presence of Mind for the mana, Alacrity for the extra attack speed. You have the wave clear now. So this means that you're still maxing your distortion, of course, because without a max distortion, you're kind of useless. Unless, maybe you're playing into like a Lissandra or a Vex, you might even have to max your Q. But the point here, guys, is that you have the wave clear with Static Shiv and the electrical surge this gives you. And we ain't talking cannon, right? So this allows you to clear waves and save your distortion to damage the enemy mid laner, which is what we're playing LeBlanc for. Because without Static Shiv, your wave clear, man, it's always been kind of trash. You don't have anything, even though they may have buffed your Q in terms of refunding the cooldown or mana, whatever they did. It's nowhere near enough, bro. Like, distortion is your big thing, and now you can actually use it to pressure the enemy champion. This is why LeBlanc has insane stats and higher elos, and once again, she's a difficult champion, so you really have to know how to play her. Now moving down to the bot lane here, we have 4 champions to talk about, and the first of these is actually an AP carry bot lane. This is just Karthus. Now we all know the build is going to be Leandries into something else, but that's why it's here, right? Because it is so broken. Now honestly, there are 2 big reasons, guys, why Karthus with this setup, so the items are so broken, is because Lost Chapter got buffed right not so long ago. So now being 1100 gold, it accelerates your scaling, bro. Like you're going to have infinite mana now earlier, so you can actually, spam your Qs and abilities, and you'll get to Leandries quicker because you'll be getting more CS, you have more sustain during the laning phase, maybe even more kills because you're hitting Lost Chapter sooner, right? So with Leandries coming around sooner because of that and everything else, it just makes scaling AP champions who go Lost Chapter even more broken, and because of the engage meta. This is the second reason why Karthus is so OP at the moment. Lots of support, Rel, Nautilus, Blitzcrank, Pyke, Thresh, all of these champions are pretty close range, right? So when they go in, especially against the Karthus, all you have to do is press your E, land as many layways as possible, and even if you do end up dying really quickly, you'll probably still end up doing the most damage in team fights because the champion is so cracked in this meta. So Karthus is the first bot laner to think about. Next up, guys, we have Kai'Sa, who is another Static Shiv champion. This with Halo Blades, so make sure you're going Halo Blades, because this is really important, guys. When you're playing like AP Kai'Sa, drawn out fights are fine, but really what you want to do is stack your passive quickly, right? And in today's like engage meta, because like any sort of CC procs your passive as well, you can get to 4 stacks and actually trigger your passive's damage really quickly with Halo Blades. It's super effective as well with Static Shiv, and then following this with Berserker's Greaves and Nash's Tooth, the attack speed and then AP, remember, you're getting from Nash's, which is 100. You'll be able to evolve both your W and E at that point. You just have to wait a little bit until you can actually max your Q, but it's an unreal setup. Probably just be a little bit careful of blind picking Kai'Sa because she does have a lot of hard lanes, so you're probably looking to pick her into a free scaling lane. So if the enemy AD carries something like an Ezreal or something like this, you can pick Kai'Sa and just outscale, right? So do be careful about blind picking her. Now one champion who would absolutely destroy Kai'Sa during the laning phase and probably game, because Kai'Sa needs to get in, kind of like up close and personal, this is Draven. Now this really is just Triforce again, guys. So Trinity Force Draven, if you're going Collector or anything else, doesn't even matter, man. To be honest, it's just like Kindred. Get to a Trinity Force and you're sweet. Draven as well, because there's been like so many nerfs to AD carries around him. So if you think of like Caitlyn when she was good at the start of the season, Jinx as well, right? There have been lots of champions, who've been taken down a peg. Draven has not been touched really at all. His Q might have like copped a little bit of an AD nerf, but man, he's still the most dominant lane bully in the bot lane. And once you cash in those adoration stacks, it is just over before the game's even started. But one AD carry who actually might do well against Draven, guys, this might be the most OP champion in the game at the moment. So if you're an AD carry and you don't pick this champion, you are legit trolling. This being Ashe. Now for Ashe, Trinity Force, once again, like Trinity Force is just really like the backbone of these videos at the moment because it's so busted. But yeah, if you're going something like Trinity Force Rush, you can go Kraken Slayer into Trinity Force. But I just want to talk here just for a second about Ghost, because Ghost is getting changed, guys, in 13-14, so it's lasting 15 seconds, not 10 seconds. But the unfortunate thing here is that it's not going to give you a refund when you get a kill or an assist. But the fact is this, lasting an extra 5 seconds I think is really good, because in the early to mid game when team fights aren't going to last like, you know, past 20 seconds, and most of them don't anyway, I don't think, Ghost is going to be a lot better, especially for a champion like Ashe where you can stick to someone because you're passive, of course. I actually think this is fine. So I honestly think Ashe might be even better with the updated Ghost next patch. And yeah, you guys like know the win rates as well, and every single elo this champion is insane at the moment. So if you're an AD carry, definitely think about picking up. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Those were the 10 most broken builds in the game right now, and probably as well for 13-14 like we talked about for Aatrox right when the bus hit him. So thank you for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, please remember to leave a like down below, and I will see you in our next Season 13 upload. This has been Coach Cheeks. Peace.